so beautiful, how only you can satisfy this heart. Always be the life I need. Creation sings your melodies. The earth surrenders. It's a masterpiece. So we breathe in deep this love, and we breathe in deep this love, and it's so beautiful, how only you can satisfy this heart. And it's so beautiful, how only you can satisfy this heart. Yeah. And it's so beautiful, how only you can satisfy this heart. And it's so beautiful, how only you can satisfy this heart. For you always be the life I need. How's everyone doing this morning? And we sing it out, we sing it aloud, for love has found us. Will you join with me and sing that out this morning? And we sing it out, we sing it aloud, for love has found us. All right, I think you guys got it. Here we go. And we sing it out, we sing it aloud, for love has found us. Sing it out, we sing it aloud, for love has found us. Sing it out, we sing it aloud, for love has found us. Sing it out, we sing it
So goes how we feeling this morning? Pretty good. All right, so I hope you guys had your coffee this morning. We're going to sing a few more songs, and then Pastor Larry is continuing Untangled, this sermon series that we're in. So we're honored and excited that you're here. Thank you for joining us. Let's sing some more songs. If you don't mind broken things, then you can have my heart. No filter, just the way it is. And it's far from perfect, God, but it's real and it's what I got. No varnish and no hiding place. Oh, I'm taking a chance, coming just as I am. I'm rolling the dice on the truth. Can I be honest? I gotta be honest. Lord, I believe you, but I'm gonna need you to help my unbelief. Will you be faithful when I am faithless? I'm a believer, but I'm gonna need you to help my unbelief. Will you let me if I'm honest? Will you let me if I'm honest with you? Lord, I believe you, but I'm gonna need you to help my unbelief. Can I be honest? I gotta be honest. Lord, I believe you, but I'm gonna need you to help my unbelief. Will you be faithful when I am faithless? I'm a believer, but I'm gonna need you to
grace holds me now. Here I stand, high and surrender. I need you now. Hold my heart now and forever. My soul cries out. Here I stand, high and surrender. I need you now. Hold my heart now and forever. My soul cries out. Oh, here I stand, high and surrender. I need you now. Hold my heart now and forever. My soul cries out. Oh, here I stand, high and surrender. I need you now. Hold my heart now and forever. My soul cries out. Once I was broken, and you were my heart. Knew that has no hold on me. Grace on me now. Healed and forgiven. Look where my chains are now. Death has no hold on me. 'Cause your grace holds that ground. Grace holds me now. Grace holds me now. Grace holds me now. Grace holds me now. Look where my chains are now. Death has no hold on me. 'Cause your grace holds that ground. Your grace holds me now. Your grace holds me now.
love. But somehow, this kind of love is who you are. It's a grace I can never add up to be somebody you so want. But somehow, you love me as you find me. I can never add up to be somebody you so want. But somehow, you love me as you find me. You love me as you find me. You love me as you find me. Sometimes I want to hear you sing that out. You love me as you find me. Is your love too good to leave me? Your love too good to leave me. Your love too good to leave me. So thank y'all so much for singing so beautifully this morning.
Welcome to Untangled Words. I'm Dr. Troy Doucet. This is a Untangled Word Challenge, and it will be challenging if I do say so myself. Here we have the gentleman. Dude. To my left, we have the scholars, Brett and Hope, and the team with the least amount of time used to unscramble each word will win. Take your places.
You're going down.
A flowering plant that belongs to the olive family. Go.
Oh, I can't read.
We're done. Is it? Lilac. Great job, everybody.
No words for you.
But Brett got it first.
Oh, what?
Yeah, like he
A measure of energy. Go.
What?
Incorrect.
Huh?
Correct.
Quinn what?
Call a friend. Add 5 seconds.
What friend? He doesn't know.
tell him.
Tell him.
I think it's quantum.
Go. He's
That's
got
not a unit of energy, is it?
Yep.
Huh.
Boom. There we go.
That's
I just ruined this whole game for us.
Yeah, you did.
8-letter word. Darkness. Here's your hint. Obscurity. Go. Look at it. Free hint coming in 3, 2, 1. Part of a origin song. Steven got it.
Kind of.
Brett wrote it.
No, that's not spelled right. No, you're messing it up.
Last round. Here's your hint. A way of doing things. Go.
I don't even know how to spell the word.
Got it. All right. 312. 248. 24-second win.
I even misspelled it. I can't spell technique. There's no technique.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Untangled words. Our champions. The gentlemen. Well done. Our losers. The scholars. Join us next week as we untangle something else.
Wonderful job. Good morning. It's good to see you. Thank you for being here today. My name is Larry Baucom. I'm the lead pastor at Suncoast, but it's my joy to stand before you and remind you of an event that's happening today. We do this about once or twice a year. We do baptism at Siesta Beach. So if you've never been baptized, you want to be baptized, we're doing that today at 6 o'clock at the yellow lifeguard station, 6 o'clock. And if you forget, it's on the back of the notes that's in your hand. But who wants to be baptized? If you want to be baptized, go and see Kevin at the end of the service. Say, Kevin, I want to be baptized. And he'll make sure that he gets you the shirt size that you get, because you get a free shirt if you get baptized. That's not a motivation. We just like everybody to look the same when you get a picture. But why do we get baptized? There's several reasons, but one of them from the early church on, it's a symbol. It's a symbol of something, just like a wedding band is a symbol of something. So you have symbols in our life, and baptism is a symbol that I'm a Christ follower. And we can go back and study the ancient history of baptism. Believe it or not, in Jesus' day, people are being baptized into every different type of religion. It's not something just for Christianity. And before Christianity, they were baptizing, and of course, lots of things go on there. But simply, it's been practiced by the church for thousands of years, and we still practice it here. So if you like to be baptized, you can do that. You just go talk to Kevin, meet there at 6 o'clock, and we'll baptize you. We do have one requirement. If you're really a dirty, rotten scoundrel, we may hold you under longer. So some of you might want to bring a snorkel, just what I'm saying. So, because we know you. Just saying. So we just know who you are. So let me continue in our teaching. It's a series called Tangled. And you saw the video creativity of our team. Thank you for doing that. They do a great job. But in this teaching, we're trying to show how that so many times the teachings have been tangled through the generations. And we can start with Jesus and see what we're talking about in Matthew, which we're going to look at specifically Matthew. But Matthew is intent on us seeing Jesus as a significant figure and untangling all the labels for him. I mean, some people think, some scholars think that Matthew was written as a gospel for the early Jewish group, so that when they read the Torah, they'd have a certain thing they'd read. At the end, they'd read the Matthew passage, what Matthew was giving, and it parallels. What Matthew wants us to see is Jesus was a significant figure in history, just as Moses was. And it's sometimes, if you look closely, you can see there's a parallel between all the things of Moses and all the things of Jesus. Let me point out a few of them. Moses and Jesus both grew up in Egypt. Moses and Jesus both had kings try to kill them when they were boys. Moses and Jesus both had a humble spirit. Moses parted the sea, the Red Sea, but when Jesus was baptized, he parted the heavens. Moses spent 40 years in the wilderness and 40 days on Mount Sinai. Jesus also spent 40 days in the wilderness during his temptations. In the wilderness, Moses dealt with the people being hungry. In the wilderness, Jesus dealt with him being hungry. One got manna, the other was challenged to turn the stones into bread. In the wilderness, Moses dealt with people testing God. At Meribah, they tested him. In the wilderness, Jesus had to deal with the tester, the tempter, testing God in the desert. And as a matter of fact, it says, do not put the Lord your God to the test. In the wilderness, Moses had to deal with people worshiping a representative of God, a golden calf. That was for Moses. For Jesus in the wilderness, he had to deal with the tempter wanting him to worship that which was not God. In other words, bow down and worship me and you get all the gold and wealth in the world. For Moses, Mount Sinai brought 10 commandments. The early tribes Israel needed these basic norms ruled from a tribal society to a nation. From the Mount of Beatitudes, Jesus gives the Sermon on the Mount. 9 Beatitudes, language that corrects and fulfills the law of Moses. The culture shifted from all the laws in Moses, 1500 BC, to the time of Jesus. It was not about the Big Ten anymore. It was not about laws trying to make a tribal group into a nation. It was about the heart and what Jesus needed in his day for an oppressed people, oppressed by Rome and also oppressed by Judaism. Jesus gathered the people to him to teach them about a simplified, untangled kingdom, unlike anything they'd ever experienced. So let me talk about this a minute. 1,500 years before, they had a certain culture. And do you think the world can change in 1,500 years? Let me ask you this. Do you think the world has changed, the culture has shifted since you were a child? And that's not been 1,500 years. For some of you, maybe. Just 3. Anyways. But that's a long time to see the culture shift, and it shifts in our lifetime. Today we're continuing our detangling or untangling. Let's read from Matthew and see what it says. Well, let's go and try it again. You are the salt of the earth, but if the salt loses its saltiness, how can it be made salty again? It's no longer good for anything except to be thrown out and trampled underfoot. You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand, and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. See, Jesus makes the analogy with a declaration of who we are. He doesn't say, would you like to be salt? Would you consider being salt? He says, you are the salt. He doesn't say, would you like to be light? He says, you are light. He emphatically states that. So I want us to live up to this challenge, to live up to who we already are. If you are salt and you are light, what does that mean? So I want to share you 3 thoughts today and see if these fit in your life. Here's the first one. You can fill in your notes if you want. The primary purpose of salt and light is influence. It says about salt, if a salt loses its saltiness, it's no longer good for anything. How much influence do we have today? These teachings of Jesus untangle our understanding of God. This teaching is to move us from an aha to a what now? From an insight to an action. I used to, when I was a kid, I grew up in church, and as I learned something new, I go, I love learning new things, don't you? And I learned more new things and more new things and more new things. And after 4 years of college and 4 years of grad school in Kansas City and 7 years in a PhD program, I finally realized, why don't you start putting this into work? Why don't you quit just learning things? You know, some of us, we just want, I want more. And to those who are like that, including me, how do we transition from the aha to the what now? From more insight to action. How do we become people of influence? How do we become a group that can change the world? Jesus is teaching about a culture that has values that were upside down in his day, and guess what? They're upside down even for our day. It's not about being quiet versus being loud. It's not about looking religious or not. It's about making a difference, helping people, influencing people. Some churches are more concerned, it seems, on the outside than they are on the inside. Have you ever been a part of a place like that? I grew up in it. You always put on your Sunday best before you come to church. Remember that? So there's a story, old story, about an elderly deacon at a Baptist church in town. I use Baptist because the Baptists are more prolific than any other group. As a matter of fact, when I pastored in Monticello, Florida, there were more Baptists there than there were people. So an elderly deacon, everybody should put Baptist in their church name. An elderly deacon at a Baptist church in town wore the same suit to church every week. Every week, year in, year out. And some of the more affluent members of the church noticed that, hey, this suit is getting kind of threadbare and it needs an overhaul. It looks really rough. It's tattered, it's worn. So some of the more affluent guys got together and said, look, let's pitch in some money. Let's buy Brother So-and-so a suit. And they took it quietly without fanfare. And the patrons worried that they might offend him. But since it's a small town, he took the money. They soon learned he took it to the best store in town. And he bought the finest suit. And in the process, he had enough money left over to buy himself new shoes, a new shirt, and a new tie to go with the shirt, with the whole outfit. All the other Baptist deacons were waiting for him on Sunday. And they waited. They wanted to see what he looked like. I mean, he's one of theirs. And the faithful old deacon never arrived. Now they were sure they had offended him. So they sent some of the other deacons to see what happened. When they asked him about his new suit, he said, yeah, I bought one. He said, yeah, I bought it. And he said, I got ready on Sunday morning. And I looked in the mirror and I said, man, this suit looks good on me. And look at that tie. It looks so good. As a matter of fact, I decided, I think if I go to church here, I'll look better than most of the Baptists there. So I decided to go to the Episcopal Church instead. Some people are so interested in the new suit. Our goal is not to make us all look the same or dress the same, or even this, ready, or act the same. My goal as your pastor is to help you discover the authentic you that's only you. My goal is to help us all discover and embrace the love of God that lives within us, to see the love of God in us, and we see that transferred from insight into action and making a difference. Salt has many characteristics, but influence is here. When I have a salty meal, have you ever just eat a real salty meal and all of a sudden you go, oh, I need something to drink. I am so thirsty. And then sometimes when you have a salty meal, salt influences thirst. Now, I'm from the deep South. There's an old expression in the South, and I'm sure you heard it. It's not just Southern expression. You could finish it for me. Finish the expression. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. There's another part of that. I added this onto it. But you can feed him salt. You may not be able to make him drink, but you can make him thirsty. We are called to be the salt of the earth, to influence the next generation. And here's the question. How are we doing? I want you also to know you're part of a community that's making a difference. What we do at Suncoast Community Church is not Larry and Troy and Brett and the other staff doing something. We represent you to our community. And without you, we couldn't do it. Your gifts, your contributions, you make a difference. When you donate it, instead of trading your car in, when you donate it to church, we make sure it's worthy, we give it away. As a matter of fact, giving cars, we've given over 200 cars away in the last 7 years. 200 cars. That's a pretty good thing. If you take the average value of those cars at $5,000 each, that's over $1 million worth of cars. And someone said, oh, in the next 7 years, you're going to give away $1 million? I'd say, no, we're not. But you've made that possible by your generosity. Now, the other thing we do, we have a garage here, and we change the oil and wash cars. Between 250 and 300 cars every month. And we've been doing that for years. I calculated just yesterday, I think we've given away over 2,500 oil changes and car wash. I was calculating this while the guys were washing the cars and changing oil yesterday. We all have a role. Do you know you provided backpacks for hundreds of children each summer? And I looked at suncoast-cares.com, and over $100,000 has been given to help people in need since COVID. Simple process, create a website. If you have a stimulus check and you want to donate it, click here, donate it. And we have people says, the other button on there says, I need help. You click that, you fill out an application, and we've helped over 100,000. We've not kept one penny of that. As a matter of fact, every credit card fee we paid because we want 100% of what you give to be given out. You're making a difference. Who's doing that? You don't realize it, but you're a part of this community. That's you. You're doing that, or you're a part of it, and I commend you for it. So if I were to clap, we clap, but I really would clap for you today because we cannot do it without you. But the question I want to ask us is, how salty are we? John Maxwell, the great leadership guru, says, leadership is defined in one word, influence, which leads to number 2. For our influence to change the world, we cannot live in isolation. You're a light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. I've been to Israel in the north, and as we travel by on the bus, the guide says, see that city up there on the hill? That's the city that Jesus was talking about, near Galilee, up in the north. That's the city that when there's a light, you could see it from all around. You're the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. How can we influence others if we have no contact with others? We live in a society that seems like is becoming more isolated. Parents and kids don't live near each other anymore. They live across the country. I mean, I have 2 brothers and a sister that live in Nashville area. A sister that lives in Atlanta. Another sister that lives in Lakeland. I've got nephews and nieces scattered all over. We don't live in the same community, but how can we influence others when we have no contact with them? You ready? It's called community. Suncoast Community Church, we go by our middle name. We're a community. We're trying to create something of a family here to where we really can influence others. Salt is not to be tasteless without flavor. It's not to be the same as everything else, but a little salt makes a big difference. A light cannot be hidden. A city on a hill cannot be hidden. Light, whether natural or artificial, was a precious commodity in Jesus' day. I was thinking back on the history of Suncoast. Some of you may have been here. Just curious. In Hurricane Irma in 2017, were you here in the building? Just raise your hand. If you stayed here, there's a few of us. What about in 2022 when Ian came in? Did you stay here? Several that came in. In 2017, we had 450 people approximately here and about 150 dogs. Place smelled like a kennel for a week. But I remember coming in here, and it was just a lot of activity, and it was late at night. The power went out. People had flashlights, little battery-operated lanterns around. But this auditorium, it had no chairs. I mean, it was empty, and some people had used it just, this is my corner, their corner. They had their families gathered. And I remember about midnight, things finally quieted down. And I realized it was in the morning, in the wee hours of the morning, Sunday morning. And I thought, it's Sunday morning. This is what church is going to be this morning. It's just going to be people gathering out as a shelter. I remember thinking, this may be the best Sunday service we ever had at Suncoast, helping people. It was quiet in the middle of the night. I went up there and looked around and thought, wow, it's amazing. Then I thought, wonder what would happen if I just gave a little bark. Just 150 dogs, That's who I am. Sorry. I didn't do it, but I thought about it. It was Jesus in the wilderness, tempted. Perhaps the only place, though, where we see the light completely out is when people are in the Arctic. A couple of years ago, Becky and I flew to Svalbard. And it's Valbard. It's 1,200 miles north of Oslo. It's a group of islands near the northern ice cap. And it's so far north that when we were there in the summer, the sun stayed almost at noon, about 11 o'clock in the morning, and it stayed 24 hours a day. It never got dark. It never got dusk. It was like bright daylight. You had big blinds you pulled over your window so you could sleep at night. Now, I was there, but more than one person said, but did you see the northern lights? And I said, did you just hear me say it was like noon all day. It doesn't get dark, and it's hard to see the lights without the dark. So we laughed about that a little bit, and then I began to do some research on that. Do you know there's some areas up there that about November 20th, they enter a time of darkness, and it's called the polar night. They go for months without seeing the sun. It's dark all day, every day. And it's called Morkatida. Oh, the polar night. And they say psychologically, without the light, people get very depressed. Say alcoholism is the worst in that area because of the depression that comes on. Jesus urges for us that we need to be the light of the world into the dark places of light. That some of us go through our own darkness. We go through our desperation, our depression. We need people to be encouragement to us. So when you come to see me, how are you doing, Pastor? Oh, I'm terrible. Life sucks. Well, what do you mean? Oh, you'll never hear that come out of my mouth. Why? Because I don't believe it. I get up every morning and my wife is annoyed. I'm a morning person. Woohoo! When my kids are little, I'd go in and say, good morning, good morning, good morning. It's time to rise and shine. They go, oh my God, Dad, just shut up. They only said that once, and they mumbled it after that. But I mean, I am a morning person. I believe that life is meant to be lived in the light, and joy can be ours, and I proclaim it, and it becomes so. And for some of you, that's not your experience. But I want you to know, if it's not, hang around with people of the light, and it can be yours. Sometimes it needs to spill over into others. Jesus calls us to be lights for the world, not these exploding supernovas. But it seems like our culture, we have those that are in darkness, or we have those who want to be stars rather than lamps. Jesus encounters the star syndrome with the two of his disciples, the sons of Zebedee. James and John, his mother comes in and said, hey, Jesus, put one on your right hand, one on your left. Why? Just let my sons, let them be the superstars right beside you. They don't want just any place, star seats. And Jesus said, you know, that's not the way it works. As a matter of fact, if you want to be great in the presence of God or in the kingdom of God, begin to serve. I mean, doing for others, not just looking out for ourselves, is the only way to turn up the candle power in our individual lives. I remember a Jewish rabbi said, he was asked a question, and this is the question, why doesn't anyone see God nowadays? And the wise rabbi answered, people are not willing to look that low. Jesus tries to teach that our role is to be servants, and the heavenly seating order is not on the right and left of Jesus, but it's serving others. It's not more stars that we need, but more light sharers. Light sharers are those who willingly burn in service as both learners and mentors for others. Remember the childhood song, This Little Light of Mine, I'm going to let it shine. I mean, our little beam of light doesn't shine all by itself, but our light merged with others makes a difference. You ever been here on Christmas Eve? If you have, raise your hand, just curious. Have you been there on Christmas Eve? You've seen it. We start with one candle up front, and we light one candle. Jesus was the light of the world, and everybody's got a candle. We start lighting the candles, and before you know it, this room is totally dark, and it begins to glow with the light. Then I simply would say, now lift your light. From my perspective up here, the place explodes with light. And that's what I want. I want to be a person who lifts the light of God to those who are living in darkness, to those who are going through depression, for those who are discouraged. I want to help you find the light of God in your life. See, and he goes on to say, neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. You don't put it under a bucket. You let it shine. So let me show you. I brought an illustration today. I want to tell you today, I have some psychological issues. One is an addiction to flashlights. And these flashlights, I want you to know, because my friends know I'm addicted to them, they give them. These three are some of the most powerful flashlights in my collection. I have others. But I want you to see, these things are, can you see that? I'm not going to, 9 o'clock service, I shine it in their eyes. I don't want to do that to you. But I mean, see how bright that is? Can you see that? Woo, that's bright. No, this one. This is a little Nebo, this is the magnet. This is a huge light, rechargeable. I mean, this thing, Yeah, look at that. And it also changes spot. I mean, it's a wonderful thing, flashlights. I love them. I mean, and then somebody gave me this work light. It looks brand new. I've only had it 5 months. Eventually, I'll get to work. I could bring it to the oil change, but those guys get oil on it. But you push this button, this thing is like mega lights. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, I love lights. But, let me do one more example. I shined it in my own eyes at 9 o'clock. Can you see it? I don't want you to see, I got another one. Couldn't get another. But what good is a light if you put it under a bucket? You know, what's the function of light? Oh, I have this little light of mine, I'm going to hide it. This is the presence of Christ that lives in me, that has changed my life. I want you to be honestly, it has transformed my life and my world. Why wouldn't I want to share it with you? I don't want something from you. I have something for you. And it's the Spirit of God that's within you. And I want that light to shine in your life because you can make a difference. You can be a person. Maybe there's someone else that's going through a difficult time and they need somebody just like you. Say, well, call my pastor. They don't know me, but they know you. And the light of God that shines in me is also ours, that we can shine together. This little light of mine combined with 1,000 others becomes so much more. I remember the story of John Ruskin. In the days when English villages were lighted by oil lamps along the street, one evening he watched with a friend as the lamplighter would go along with the big pole and light the gas lamps. He'd go through and light them. And as he lit them, he said, there is what I mean by a real Christian. You can trace the course of the lights. You can trace the course of their lives by the lights they leave burning. It's our job and our opportunity and our privilege to keep the lights burning, which leads me to the last thought. As my life reflects light into the darkness, the world has changed. Light as the mark of a Christ follower. This light is now specifically defined as what you do. It's not just about who you are. It's not just about, oh, look at my light. It also, Jesus connects that. It's also based on what you do. You want to see the light? You can see it in others. You don't have to do great things, but the little things you're doing can be done with great conviction, great wisdom, great beauty, and great love. I'll tell you a story. One of the great short essays, and I've mentioned this before a few years ago, in the last century, it's called Remember Me by Robert Test. It was written during his lunch break. He felt so passionate about this. Listen to it. At a certain moment, the doctor will determine that my brain has ceased to function and that for all intents and purposes, my life has stopped. When that happens, do not attempt to instill artificial life into my body by the use of a machine. And don't call this my deathbed, call it my bed of life. And let my body be taken from it to help others lead fuller lives. Specifically, give my sight to someone who has never seen a sunrise, a baby's face, or love in the eyes of a mother. Give my heart to a person whose heart has caused nothing but endless days of pain. Give my blood to a teenager who's pulled from the wreckage of his car that he might live to see his grandchildren play. Give my kidneys to one who depends on the machine to exist from week to week. Take my bones, every muscle, every fiber, every nerve, so that someday a speechless boy will shout at the crack of a bat and a deaf girl will hear the sound of rain against her windows. Burn what is left of me and scatter the ashes to the winds to help the flowers grow. And if you must bury something, let it be my faults, my weaknesses, all my prejudices against other humans. Give my sins to the devil, give my soul to God. And if by chance you wish to remember me, do it with a kind deed or word to someone who needs you. And if you do all I've asked, I will live forever. Robert Tess. This is a human attempt to give back, say, this is what my life, I want to give back my life at death. I'd ask Robert if he were still alive, would you write one more poem? And it's, how do I give back my life before I die? How do I give my time and my resources and my love and my care? How do I share my life with someone all around me? How do we do that? our little light begins to shine, and it makes a difference in the world. Can I pray for you? Thank you, God, for the blessings that you give us every day, for sight and love and care and community. Thank you for those who are positive around us that remind us that we can be better than what we are. Bless our lives today that we may bless others, we pray in Christ's name. Amen. Would you stand, please? I want to share a story with you in closing. Years ago, I had plantar fasciitis. You ever had that? Oh, it's terrible. It's pain in the foot. And I went to my doctor, and he gave me some anti-inflammatory shot. Then I came back a few weeks later, and he gave me some medicine. And I went back to see him again. And he said, look, I'm ready to give you another injection in your heel. I said, Doc, I want you to know, this is my podiatrist, my foot doctor. My foot is fine. But this was before I had shoulder surgery. It's my shoulder. It really hurts. He said, well, get the ultrasound tech. Brought him in. They ultrasound my shoulder. He said, yeah, here's a problem right here. I can see the inflammation. And he gave me a shot that was supposed to go in my foot and my shoulder. Now, what kind of podiatrist would do that? How upside down is that? The doctor was my friend. He listened to where my pain was and gave me just what I needed where I needed it. God is listening. He knows what you need, exactly where you need it. It begins with his light shining on you. He loves you today, and so do I. God bless. Thanks for coming.